think your environment is one of the few things that you have immediate and direct control over in life, especially on the micro scale. If you wake up in the morning at 6 a.m., like I did today, and went for a run at 7, the only other people who are going to be on that trail are people who also decide to wake up before 7 a.m., go for a run, go for a walk, who are sweating their asses off in this humidity voluntarily on a Sunday morning. And so if you go to the gym at 6 p.m. on a weekday, the other people who are going to be there are going to be the average gym goer who goes to the gym after their 9 to 5. And that's not to say that you're still probably encountering a top 20% human because they're choosing to go to the gym. But if you show up at 5 a.m., you're probably going to be in pretty elite company with other grinders, people who have similar mindsets to you, or just people who, got off night shift and then that's the time that they go to the gym. So obviously you're going to find a mix of people everywhere, but I think on the micro scale, your environment is something that you have more influence over than you think. And just the places that you put yourself in, right? If you instead of working from your home office for, to work on your online business, instead, if you show up to a co-working space or, relocate to Los Angeles or New York or whatever, which I know is more of a macro level scale than a micro level, but if you just show up to cafes or meetups where there are other online entrepreneurs, you're going to surround yourself with people who are going to be promoting the best out of you and trying to draw that out of you. Because if you're just by yourself, again, like the example of in your home office, surrounded by no one, just building your business in silence on your own. Not to say that there isn't anything to be said for that, because, sometimes you just got to do it. But I think it'd be easier and more inspiring, and you'd feel a lot better, productive, and like part of a community if you were surrounding yourself in an environment where there were other people doing the same thing as you, people who are also high achievers. It just pushes you to be better. Same thing with if you are going to the gym early on in the morning, right? Like, you'll just find people, if you end up talking to them or not, who are also in the same kind of mindset. And that's something that a lot of us don't consider, myself included sometimes, and I forget, is the power that you have in choosing the environments you place yourself in, right? Like you can go to the gym at 5 in the morning before your 9 to 5. Obviously it takes some preparation, like you'll have to go to bed earlier so then you can wake up on time, and you'll have to maybe have a shorter workout so then you can get back, eat breakfast, and then get dressed and get ready before you go to work. But it can be done, and if you select these environments that are better for you in terms of how you feel and progressing you towards your goals, why wouldn't you? And why wouldn't you want to surround yourself with people who are doing the same thing as you, and even at a higher level, right? Like, because again, if you show up to the gym when everybody else does, it's easy to look like the biggest guy in the room, and if you're the big fish in a small pond, right? But I think to some degree it makes a lot of sense to surround yourself with people who are better than you and who are pushing you to really just do your best. And I need to take my own advice. because a lot of times I'm doing things solo and in silence. And I guess this has been recently inspired by my friend who has started boxing classes at 5 in the morning on like Monday, Wednesday, Friday before work, which I used to hit the gym at 6 in the morning before classes in college, and really have not been doing that since. And so I really feel like I need to get back to that, which, you know, I don't have to do anything, but I think at that point in my life and how I felt throughout the rest of the day, I just felt a lot more productive back then, and I think I want to enter that season and that era, re-enter it, and kind of just bring some of that back, because I've kind of been neglecting my physical health a little bit, just in pursuit of work and achievement in other endeavors, like with the business stuff. But really, I think starting out on the right foot of waking up, going to the gym, or getting some exercise in first thing in the morning is really when I have felt some of the best that I have, and even made me more productive in my other endeavors and allowed me to be able to take on more. Whereas if you just do work 100% of the day, sure, you'll get some things done, but I don't know, I feel like I need that care of my physical health and well-being back in my life, and I'm gonna start prioritizing that more. So yeah, I think all of that's to say you can choose the environment, and the way that I'm gonna do that, right? Like I go for runs and whatnot after work, but I really want to get back to the mindset of waking up early, getting after it before anybody else is awake. And I think that really breeds a special sense of, discipline and motivation and mindset that will help in other areas just outside of, improving my physical fitness. Because I think that those types of things, just like the environment you put yourself in, if you are working on yourself in other aspects outside of business and work and productivity, it bleeds into those aspects and allows you to really get after it in a different sense. So I'm looking forward to getting back to that, and just think about that. The environment that you put yourself in, you can choose that more than you think. Even the simplest thing as where you choose to work, right? The desk that you sit at, if it's sitting in your room at, like in your bedroom office, that's a lot different than getting out in a cafe or joining a community of people in a co-working space who are also pursuing similar things. So that's going to be it for today. Thanks for watching. See you next time.